Hello YouTube, this is Stephen Mel 13. Today I just wanted to rant about some recent issues that I've had on eBay. I think that it's time for the sellers to unite. Let's not take any more of the crap that eBay gives us. It's about time that somebody's taking action against them. There's several things that I wanted to address with this video. Obviously I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, suggestions. Let me start off by talking about what led to this issue. I've been dealing on eBay for about 15 years now. I've only had this user ID, Stephen Mel Collectibles, for about 4 years. In the 4 years, I haven't had problems. I've gotten good ratings, good feedback, and every time that I've had a damaged card for sale on eBay, I've always listed that in the description. Always. Well, I sold a card, a Kobe Bryant 2009-2010 Absolute Stargazing Jumbo Jersey, numbered to 25. And this is the card in question. I'm going to get as close to the card as I possibly can. And as you can see in the scan, that is a mint condition card. There is nothing wrong with that card at all. I'm going to focus right on here, and as you can see, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Well, the buyer decides to leave me a negative feedback stating that the card has a gigantic crease in the middle. Seller did not note this in description. So my response and follow-up was, the card had no crease, look at scan of card, and my feedback, look at buyer's feedback. And he did a follow-up that said, seller threatened me, said he had connections, very classy, I'm out $40. Now, I never made a threat to anybody, and obviously, as you've seen, the card is not damaged in any way, shape, or form. Now, I called up eBay to follow up with this, and of course, eBay does not want to help the seller. Now, while I am all for the buyer and I appreciate every sale that I've ever gotten and will continue to get, whether it be at a card show, on my website, through YouTube, or on eBay, I think there should be some recourse for sellers on eBay. As it is, we are the ones who support eBay. We pay the closing fees, we pay listing fees, we pay PayPal fees, and we also pay to ship the item. Now, without the sellers, eBay would no longer be in business. eBay doesn't want to help us. eBay will not take away false negatives, even when they admit that the negative was unrightfully left. They said because it's an opinion, there is nothing they can do. The threat, or the so-called threat that I made, they looked at the emails and said there was no threat made, but because the buyer may have felt threatened, it's okay, he left that feedback. I mean, if you look at my rating here, I have 3,152 positives. My DSRs, the shipping is 4.8, and it was that before this incident. The shipping time is 5.0. My communication is 4.9, but before this incident with the seller, it was a 5.0. And the same with my item as described. It's a 4.9, but it was a 5.0 before I had an issue with the seller. eBay doesn't look into this. eBay won't ask him for a scan of the card. They won't. He had a false number on file, and I believe he still does so. They won't do anything about it, and they're doing nothing for the seller. With that being said, you know, I find it odd that as a seller, I cannot leave a negative feedback for a buyer, and thankfully that doesn't happen often, but there are times that buyers do not pay. I have no recourse for that. But a seller could leave me a negative, especially a false one, and that really pisses me off. I called eBay, as I mentioned, and I literally was on the phone for hours at a time with them. I've called them several different times. there is nothing anybody will do. And what I think is that if enough sellers were to band together and say, we're not going to take this anymore, I think eBay would have no choice but to change their policies. I am seriously considering leaving eBay. As I mentioned, I've been on for about 15 years in total, and this has really pushed me to the very edge, and I'm seriously considering leaving eBay and taking my business elsewhere, whether that be strictly to YouTube or to card shows or a different online site. And of course I do have my website that I can move my merchandise, but I'm seriously considering leaving eBay. It's something I'm going to be thinking very hard about in the next day or two, and then making a determination on that. And I do want to clear my head, because I am very upset with this, and think rationally if that's the course of action I want to take. eBay charges extraordinarily high fees. The listing fees at 10 cents for a 99, starting bid of 99 cents is fair, but their closing fees, on top of it, they monopolized, and they bought out PayPal, so now they have the PayPal fees. And when you're selling an item, I mean, you're losing anywhere between 10 and 20% of the item just on their fees, and I think that's very, very high. Another thing is they do not, their customer service staff and the supervisors are not very knowledgeable. They give you a runaround, and what really upsets me, being that eBay is a publicly traded company, you can't call their corporate office. They will not give you a phone number for their corporate office. What are they hiding in that corporate office? Why won't they allow you to speak to somebody? I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. If you have nothing to hide, you're going to be open and, speak to people, and they're hiding something there. Not to mention that eBay does outsource all of their work, and it is very difficult to communicate with their representatives at their customer service and their trust and safety team. Maybe if they brought the jobs back to the United States, obviously it would help our economy, but also it would give a better communication between the representative and the buyers and sellers. As I mentioned, the sellers need to band together, and I know I'm not going to be able to do this by myself, but I'm also sure, and I know for a fact, there are other sellers who are disgruntled with eBay, who are tired of the exorbitant fee prices, who are tired of not being treated properly and being treated like dirt. If we were to band together, if we were to stand up and make a statement to eBay, I think that we would definitely get some action taken. And another bothersome thing about eBay is, when I told them I was closing my account, they didn't care. They're like, okay, if that's what you want to do, do it. They had absolutely no care in the world, and that really pisses me off. So they're basically telling me they don't care about my money. Well, again, I'm just one person. Let 1,000 people do that. Let 50,000 people do that. And let's see if eBay starts caring at that point. eBay, help me band together. Let's put a stop to the monopoly, to the unreasonableness, to the dictatorship of eBay, and let's get things changed to where they should be. And that is to help not only the buyers, but the sellers as well. Thank you, everyone. I do hope you comment. Please get this video out and let others see what's going on at eBay so we can make a change.